Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the 2017 Spring Webinar Series hosted by the Illinois Farmers Market Association and University of Illinois Extension. My name is Lori George, and I'm an Extension educator, and I specialize in small farms and local foods in the Mount Vernon, Illinois area. We appreciate you joining us for these webinars, and we will do our best to begin and end within the space of the hour that we've been given. Participants have been muted for the presentation. Should you have any questions during the talk, please enter them into the text box at the left. I'll do my best to make sure our presenters answer them as time allows. This presentation will be recorded, and I will email a link to the archived presentation as soon as possible after this concludes. There will also be a link for a very short online evaluation of this presentation, and would really like to have some evaluation feedback from you. So this week's presentation, our speakers are Corey Chatman. Corey is a program manager at the Experimental Station, a not-for-profit incubator of innovative cultural projects and small-scale enterprises. The Experimental Station runs the 61st Street Farmers Market, processes linked transactions at 15 City of Chicago farmers markets, and administers the Link Up Illinois program. Corey manages both the link transactions for the city markets and the Link Up Illinois programs. Our second speaker is Lela Fausze. Lela is a registered dietitian, a nutritionist, and community adult intervention coordinator for CPHP. Lela holds both a bachelor's and master's degree in nutrition from the University of Illinois in Chicago. She leads a team of nutrition peer educators who use evidence-based curriculum to deliver nutrition education throughout SNAP-eligible communities in Chicago. She brings a true passion for helping others obtain sustainable, healthy lifestyles through nutrition education and overall health promotion. Sarah Simeziane is the Farmers Market Manager and Outreach Coordinator for the Land Connection, a Champaign, Illinois farmer training nonprofit. She oversees the operation of the Champaign Farmers Market, which she helped launch in 2015. After completing a Master of Arts degrees in both communication and linguistics from the University of Illinois at Champaign-Urbana, Sarah began teaching at Parkland College and took a seasonal position with the Urbana Market at the Square. In 2012, she became Assistant Director for the Urbana Market and then joined the Land Connection in April of 2015 for the launch of the new midweek market in Champaign. So Corey, I'm going to go ahead and have you go first, if you would. Welcome to the webinar. Corey, are you there?
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Lori, and thank everyone that's joined us for the call today. I want to have a conversation with you about some outreach opportunities and ways that you can connect with folks about SNAP programming, but also about overall programming at your farmers market. And I want to go into depth about some advanced outreach activities. And then later on, speakers will talk about incentives and community engagement as well. So for my speech, I wanted to give a quick overview about some of the best places to do outreach and try to find SNAP clients to come to your market. I'm assuming that many of the market managers that are on the call have a lot of experience with doing outreach. So I'm going to breeze through some of the generic places that you could possibly go. And then I'm going to go and try to drill down more and give you some ideas on how to connect with hospitals and health professionals, lawmakers, and then the overall business community as well. Again, some of these tactics, some of these opportunities are things that you can use to educate a variety of folks about everything at your market, not just about SNAP programming. So some general places that you can go, and I've been preaching for years. The biggest one is going to your Illinois Department of Human Services. That's the agency in our state that authorizes or accepts the applications for SNAP clients. So regularly they're going to see a SNAP client to make sure they have benefits. So that's always a good place to go and connect with folks to tell them about the great things that's happening at your market, that your market accepts SNAP, and if your market has any other program in it they accept as well. One of the things that we've been doing is also connecting with the caseworkers that work in these individual areas. And we find that if you educate the caseworker about your market, they are more apt to hand out your flyer and tell all of their clients, hey, there's a market that's near you that you can use your SNAP card at. So those are really great advocates if you can get in front of some caseworkers and really draw them into the programming that you do. That's a great way to connect with more people. Another really cool tactic that we do at the market here is 61st Street. Every week, our farmers market manager goes to our nearby IDHS center, which is about 4 or 5 blocks away from our market location. And she will take samples. It might be fruit, it might be, in more cases, it's fruit, from some of the vendors that actually come to our market and hand those samples out in the lobby, along with the flyer, telling folks, hey, this is a great place to buy great food. And once you get some food in a person's hand along with the flyer, they are tend more to connect with that market, and we have always seen an uptick in new shoppers coming once they find out about the great things that we have to offer. Another low-hanging fruit is your local food pantry or soup kitchen. That's a great place to go and connect with folks. Make sure you slip a flyer inside some of the boxes at the food pantry, and to just educate people about the fact that someplace nearby them, they can still buy great food with their SNAP card. Another really great place is any senior living facility that may be in your area. Really good thing is most seniors know how to cook. They can identify a lot of the foods that are happening or that is being vended at your particular farmer's market. And they also, in many cases, may receive the WIC Senior Farmers Market Nutrition Program checks. So for, I want to say, the last 4 years, we've connected with our local agency that passes out the checks. And in Cook County, that would be Catholic Charities. And we would host informationals for all of their senior living facility buildings. And the goal is to connect with the caseworkers or the resident service coordinators of those buildings and say, hey, here's the nearest market, we accept SNAP, here's some great food you can find, and then get an invitation to come back to their building to talk directly to their seniors and just give them the same song and dance. Here's the nearest market, here's some great food, and yeah, we can accept your WIC checks too, so when you get them, bring it by the market and we'll be able to help you out. And we sort of do the same messaging when we visit any kind of WIC center that is talking directly to WIC clients. We drop off flyers and we make those connections there as well. So these are some of the basic things that we've been doing for years, and I always tell my partners, if you can't do anything else, if you do these 4 things, you will really generate more traffic for your market when it comes to your SNAP clientele. But some more advanced techniques, if you have the time, and I hope you do, connect with some of your hospitals and health care professionals. A lot of times, there are hospitals in your area that have to produce a community health needs assessment. And this assessment is their way of making sure they stay in compliance with the Affordable Care Act. So many hospitals have to look at their community and say, what's going on in my community? Is there a high rate of diabetes or obesity? And how can we as a hospital affect that change so that folks are getting healthier? You as a farmer's market, you have a captive audience and you're helping the community by helping folks eat healthy. So you can definitely help with those positive outcomes in your community. So connecting with those hospitals can be really beneficial for both the hospital and for you as a farmer's market manager. If you want to find out more about whether a hospital has done a community health needs assessment and then what the product of that was, most hospitals have to post that on their website. So what I would do is just take a look at the hospitals that are nearby your area or a hospital that claims your market as being a target area go through their community needs assessment and see what are the top things that was identified in that community as things that would help the community get healthier. And in most cases, obesity, diabetes, high blood pressure are some of the main things that I've always read that keeps coming up. So preparing yourself with that language when you go and talk to people is really helpful. So ways you can engage once you educate yourself, you want to start educating those hospitals about the benefits of your farmers market. And I always say go in as someone that's really giving helpful information. Here's a great market. Here's a way in which you can help the community, and just try to connect with these health care professionals and establish a relationship. But when it comes time to ask for things from them, uh, the low-hanging fruit here is probably asking for people to come to your market that work at the hospital to, perform things like, taking blood pressure or calculating BMI or doing vision screenings. Many hospitals have programs where they either may have interns or have a nursing program where these connections or sending their professionals out to connect and get experience working with the public really benefits them as well. And it also helps them to connect with their community. So you're creating this win-win situation. And don't be afraid to ask for funding support too for some of your programs. Many of these hospitals have money in place to invest in the community to, again, help them with their community needs assessments. Your superpower, or the way in which, again, you're helping them, is you're giving them access to the great community that you're forming every market day. Uh, this is something that they wouldn't naturally have access to. You being a farmer's market, you being the new town square, you're able to help facilitate that. The other thing is health and wellness professionals. So, like your local YMCA or fitness center, you can definitely engage with them and try to get them to your market to do classes of some sort. One of the things that we did at our market at 61st Street in the winter is we would have yoga classes for a lot of the people that come to the market. So now you got the market going on, you got a great yoga class, you have something that's building community, and you also have something that's promoting more health and wellness, which goes along with our mission. Um, I've seen in a lot of the markets that we frequent in Chicago, I've seen chiropractors at the market, checking people out to make sure that their spine is correct. I've seen people doing massages, and I've also seen collaborations with a lot of the local health departments. We as market managers, we cannot have enough friends in the health department. So connecting with your local health department and spreading general awareness and letting them do the same at your market is a good way to build that connection and that relationship. Ways to engage them. Again, these are some people that you can definitely offer some booth space. What we do at 61st Street, we have a community tent where we'll invite different nonprofits or different organizations to come once a month or once a market and to present information that they may have or to do a workshop or to do a health and wellness class. And you're helping them to engage, again, with this community that you're developing every week. And it's allowing them to hopefully get more customers, more people signing up, engaging the community again. And that wraps around what your superpower is there. You're giving them access to these great clients, and you're also providing this really great service to both your vendors and the folks that come to your market. So these are really good things to think about. Lawmakers and chambers of commerce, I sort of grouped these two together because the language that you use here is sort of the same. You're going to talk about ways in which you can open up and these connections and these relationships with anyone that you may have on the local level, the state level, or the county level. And it can be intimidating sometimes to talk to your local lawmaker. I know last year the Illinois ISA, Illinois Stewardship Alliance, hosted a lobby day that I went to. And I was really nervous to talk to some of the lawmakers there. because I didn't know if they would even want to make time to hear what I had to say about farmers markets, about our double value coupon program. But I was shocked to find out how open either they were or their staff were to hear the good messages that we're trying to tell them and to educate them about the needs of farmers markets. So I wouldn't be afraid to reach out to your lawmakers. They want to be here to help to support community like ours. So if you don't know who your local representative is, definitely make those connections and definitely try educating them about the great things that your market has. Again, ways to engage them: educate, 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 um, and ask them for support. I mean, this is some great community building that you're doing every market day. Again, your superpower. Lawmakers love family-friendly events. They love to go out and shake hands and meet people, especially on a nice sunny day where there's food and folks are coming together. So when you're talking to them, make sure that you mention how many people that you attract to your market every day. This is a really good stat to have on hand. And also use the language of business. Talk to them about the fact that um, your farmers are actually small businesses and you are incubating these small businesses. And then in turn, you're creating all this new local traffic, all this new local tourism. You're creating jobs and you're becoming an economic engine for the local, for that area that you're serving. Um, these are really good things that pulls in lawmakers and they pull in all the business community as well. So this is a conversation that I'll typically have too with any chambers of commerce that may be in the area that I'm trying to connect with. With all of these people, all these contacts, the biggest thing to keep in mind is to approach them as an educator. You're there giving them really good information about where your market is. Remember, you're the expert. You know all the programs that your market does. Um, but the public, the general public, typically, they don't know the inner workings of how a farmer's market is sustained. They don't know about all your great programming. They don't know about all the benefits that you provide to the neighborhood. So it's your job to educate them and to try to turn these contacts into your voice, into your advocates. So these are some of the same people that once you convert them, they're telling other people about your market, they're passing out your flyer, they're supporting you in some sort of way. Maybe they're writing you a letter of support for a grant. Maybe they're granting you funds to help with your programming. But you want to turn all these contacts into an advocate for your market. Lastly, I want to tell you a little bit about some of the grants that we do at Experimental Station that help farmers markets. So we are in the process of, or have opened up two of our grants. One is the Double Value Coupon Program, and that grant provides markets like yours that do SNAP funding to offer incentives to your SNAP clients. So if you're interested in that SNAP program, please contact me and I'll send you the form to fill out for the application. And we also do what's called a SNAP support grant. So there may be a market, if your market is doing SNAP and you need some funding to help pay that person that's doing the swiping every day, we have some funds that's still left over from last year that we can give you for this year if you do apply and you qualify for it. And that's all I have.
Okay, thank you, Corey. Lela, go ahead.
Welcome, everybody. It is nice to be here today, just as Corey had mentioned. So I'm from the Chicago Partnership for Health Promotion. We're part of the University of Illinois at Chicago. And we partner with Corey and Experimental Station as well as a few other organizations around farmers markets in the city of Chicago to promote health and also to increase the foot traffic at the market. So I'm going to tell you just a little bit about who we are and what we do, and then a little bit more about a couple strategies we've been implementing the last couple of years that have been working well for us. First of all, who are we? The abbreviation of the Chicago Partnership for Health Promotion is CPHP. We are funded by the United States Department of Agriculture as Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program Education. Most of you on the phone here know that that stands for SNAP. And specifically, the funding is to provide education to SNAP-eligible participants, and we focus in the city of Chicago. And the goal behind our education, of course, is to promote health and prevent diseases. We do that with 7 major intervention areas, which are all listed here. We have early childhood, healthy schools, out-of-school youth, community adults, faith-based, emergency food, and food retail, which is a Healthy Corner Stores project. And then we focus on 20 target community areas in the city of Chicago, really trying to hone in on where we see the highest level of health disparity as well as poverty and SNAP eligibility in Chicago. Okay, these are just some nice visuals to kind of show you what those programs look like. This slide has some beautiful photos of some youth programs we provide in the summer as well as during the school year. We spend a lot of time teaching children about nutrition as well as physical activity. And then we engage with the children in providing the physical activity. Emergency food is some of the work that we do at pantries. So similar to what Corey was explaining in working with pantries, not specific to farmers markets per se, but what we do is try to encourage individuals to make healthy choices at the pantries, as well as to work with pantry owners to stock healthier food options for our SNAP participants. Food retail, we're working with several corner stores and community areas around Chicago with stocking healthier fruits and vegetables, as well as promoting different foods and cooking demonstrations at the stores. And then we come to more specifically community adults. The work that we do with the farmers markets falls under the community adults intervention. So what do we do as an intervention? We provide direct nutrition education along with policy system and environmental initiatives with community partners aimed to improve access to healthy food, nutrition knowledge, healthy food consumption, especially with fruits and vegetables, preparation methods, purchasing methods, and then physical activity behavior. And we do that in a variety of sites. This is just a few: health clinics, schools, community centers, shelters, social service agencies. We do health fairs, and of course, in our spring through fall season, the part that you're all most interested in, which is our urban farms and farmers markets. So one of the programs that we've done in the last year that we're excited to do again this year, this speaks to what Corey was talking about related to working with local health agencies or hospitals. There's a health center here in Chicago called Lawndale Christian Health Center. And we were able to work with the Chicago Botanic Gardens Urban Agriculture Branch, Windy City Harvest, in a grant that they also received from the USDA. Specifically, it's a food insecurity grant, and the goal behind it was to increase foot traffic at their farmers markets. So what we did was we partnered with about 30 providers, healthcare providers at Lawndale Christian Health Center that wrote prescriptions for vegetables to their patients. And then the work that we did in partnership with them was we would invite these participants who received prescriptions to a space where they would come and they would complete a brief survey, just kind of figuring out what are the consumption sort of habits and behaviors of the participants already. Do they eat fruits and vegetables? How often? Do they have access? What are some barriers to getting the access or even preparing those foods? And then what we would do is teach them about the vegetables that they were getting in the box that week. And we would do a cooking demonstration so they could learn about how to use those vegetables. And then we would tie in a nutrition lesson. And we focus on a lot of different things. Again, it's mostly disease prevention, but it might talk about hypertension and preventing or managing high blood pressure, preventing diabetes, preventing heart disease, really kind of general prevention information. So there are some nice photos just to kind of show you what that looks like. We have an educator presenting in the front of one of the photos there, doing a cooking demonstration and teaching about high blood pressure. And that particular week, we also had some salt-free seasonings for folks to take recipes home for to season their vegetables. And before I talk about this Farmers Market Initiative slide, just to share a little bit of the success of the Veggie Prescription Program, we ran it from July through October of last year. And originally it was going to be groups of people would come once a month to get their box of vegetables, but we saw such great success from participants that they were coming weekly. And as an incentive to participate in that program, they also received coupons that they could redeem at the local farm stand or the farmers market that Windy City Harvest ran right in front of the health center. So on one hand, we were increasing food access by giving out free boxes of vegetables, but then we were educating them about the benefits of the food, teaching them how to prepare them, offering samples, and then we were able to see that it had a direct impact on the redemption of the coupons at the farm stand. So we were able to increase the participation at the farmers market there as well. And then aside from that, we've been working with Experimental Station in several of the City of Chicago markets, excuse me, in the last couple of years. And some of what we do there is health promotion. What we do is we set up a table under the same tent where individuals process their link purchases at the farms or the farmers market. I know the photo is kind of small, but if you can look at the photo here on the slide, we teach about My Plate. So we always show participants what the 5 food groups are, and we explain what from each of the 5 food groups they need. Then there's some other visuals here that we use to help engage the audience as well as educate them about different health topics. You can see there's a little disc there that has whole grains in it. We were teaching people about whole grains and the benefits of fiber. Those 2 tiny tubes with yellow caps, one is a solid fat, one is a liquid fat, so we can explain to people the importance of consuming healthy fat, which is the unsaturated liquid fat versus the solid fat. And then those really cool red looking tubes over on the left side there, those are what we call hydration models. And what we're able to do is explain to people a little bit more about high blood pressure and how that works and the importance of drinking water as well as consuming those fruits and vegetables that are going to be great because of the fiber and the other nutritional value that will help to lower or prevent high blood pressure. So I know you can't see them in person, but hopefully that kind of gives you a nice visual. And as far as nutrition topics go, we were able to utilize a curriculum that is free if you want to look it up. It is called Just Say Yes to Fruits and Vegetables. Some really great lessons in there if you are interested in doing any kind of health promotion at your market. There's some great tools to pull from there. Then I'll explain what shelf talkers are in just a minute. I wanted to show you these pictures here. This is just to kind of see how we're engaging with the audience, but the shelf talker, if you can see in the bottom left photo there, there's some mushrooms, and we call them shelf talkers, but it's actually signage that we placed at the market. We did a sort of a pilot of this last year, and we're excited to do it again this year in a little bit more detail. But what we did was we posted signage around particular vegetables, working with the farmers to identify maybe some vegetables that weren't selling as well or that they were interested in trying to increase promotion around. And we would include some of the health benefits about those vegetables on the little talker, or the shelf talker we'll call it. And then we would also direct people back to our tent where we were, where they could receive recipes to prepare those vegetables. So in particular, we did a little trial on some kohlrabi at one of the farmers markets downtown. And we had a farmer tell us that he was having a really hard time selling kohlrabi. I think a lot of people didn't know what it was. So we put up some shelf talkers one day about kohlrabi, explaining some of the health benefits, and then some recipes how they could prepare them, and the farmer sold out of kohlrabi that day. So that was a huge success. We're excited to continue to do some more work around that this year. In addition to that, you can see in that top right picture right there, one of the things that we were doing as part of our education this past year that went really well was we were teaching people about how they could really shop at the market on a budget. And I think that that's certainly a barrier that comes up. People think that they can't afford shopping at the market and buying all this fresh produce, so we try to explain seasonality and how you really can get it at an affordable rate. But also in working with Corey and Experimental Station, we were able to incentivize participants by giving them fruit and vegetable link dollars that Corey had supplied. And what we did was we showed people what could you do with 4 link bucks at the farmers markets. And we had some farmers help us to put a display of all the vegetables and fruit that you could get for $4 at the market. And what was great about that is sometimes redemption of the fruit and vegetable link bucks isn't as high, but we were able to see a pretty drastic increase in the redemption from running that promotion. So we can see the direct impact from some of these efforts. Last year we piloted a lot of these, and we're excited to be a little bit more strategic and implement them in more detail over this next year. This is just some general program results, which I've kind of already gone over, but we definitely saw an increase in nutrition knowledge, which we were able to determine by surveying individuals before and after they participated in our education. We certainly saw increased fruits and vegetable consumption. I didn't mention this result, but when we did the veggie prescription program, we surveyed participants at the end of the 6 months or so, or 5 months that they participated in the program. And we asked again about how often are you consuming fruits and vegetables? What are some of the barriers? And we saw that individuals who reported eating fruits and vegetables once or twice a week were now reporting eating them 4 and 5 times a week. And they were really excited to share that they knew how to prepare them, and they got a ton of new recipes. So that was really exciting. Also, we certainly saw increased link buck redemption at the city markets, like I had just mentioned. And of course, our ultimate goal is increasing food access from our organization. So we certainly saw that as well. That's all I have for our strategies that we've gone over so far in the past couple of years, and hopefully we'll continue to build on these, and I'll be invited back to share some other successes in the future. And that's it for me.
Okay, thank you, Lela. Sarah will be a next speaker. Oop.
Yes, I'm here, but I'm missing my link about taking over as a presenter.
Okay.
Oh, there we go. Now it's back. Let me fix one thing. Okay. All right. Are we there?
Yes.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Sarah Simeziane, and I am down in Champaign, Illinois. I manage the Champaign Farmers Market, which is a relatively new market. We're just about to enter our third season, and so I wanted to talk to you about our experiences getting a SNAP incentive program going at a new farmers market. So I'm going to go over our organization, the Land Connection, and our market. To you a little bit about the community that we're serving, how we ran our SNAP incentive program in the first year of the market, and then our really significant growth in the second year and what we did to achieve that. And then just talk a little bit about the impact of SNAP incentive programs on a new market and just some of the things that we learned. So I work with an organization called the Land Connection, and we are a nonprofit farmer training organization. We work to train farmers in resilient restorative techniques, connect the public and inform them about our food and our food system and why it matters to eat local. And we work to protect and enhance farmland and connect farmers who are looking for land with farmers who are people who have it, so that we can build a healthier, more sustainable food system. And so the main one, we used to focus primarily on farmer training and decided as part of our outreach to build a new farmers market in Champaign. So we're downstate, right in the center of downtown. Champaign-Urbana has one of the state's largest markets, which is we're very well known, the Urbana Market at the Square, but we wanted to provide an additional midweek option for our local farmers to sell at and make local food more accessible right in Champaign itself. So our market is a Tuesday afternoon market. We run May through October. As I said, we started in 2015, and all of our producers, our definition of local is that they come from within 150 miles of Champaign-Urbana. One of our aspects tying into our farmer training is that we try to put our vendors all on a more equal footing. So our vendors are limited to 2 spaces, which means we don't have any one vendor dominating the market, and it allows for new farmers or small farms to establish their presence a little more solidly on the local food scene. Sometimes they get swallowed up at the bigger markets. So we are a food and farm products only market. So we do have flowers. We have occasionally had wool or products made from, for example, goat's milk that was raised by the farmers, but we are just primarily a food market. And so we developed a SNAP matching program. That was one of the goals from the very start, out of our sponsorship fund from the first season. And I'm going to go on in a few minutes to tell you about how we grew that program and how it's evolved. So the community that we're serving in Champaign, Illinois is kind of a mix. So we are right downtown, bordering on a lot of businesses, restaurants, and a little more upscale residences. But a lot of the neighborhoods just north of the downtown are classified as food deserts, have around a 20% poverty rate, and just really have limited access to healthy food. Over 3,500 residents in that area are classified as low income, low access, or don't have access to a vehicle to be able to get to grocery stores and get better food. So this is a big reason that we wanted to start the market in this particular location. So in our first season, we ran a matching program that was just built out of our initial round of sponsorships. So when we recruited sponsors for the first season, half of each donation went directly into the SNAP fund. This was our first season, and it wasn't a very big sponsorship drive, so we ended up with about $3,000 to start with. And what we did was kind of a traditional link matching program where we would match purchases up to $20 a week. So link patrons would come with their card, swipe it for tokens. They would get $20, for example, of tokens off of their account, and another $20 from us. And it really did take quite a while to get this off the ground. Took a couple weeks before we even had any link customers, and we gave out about a third of the funds that we had built for the season, or that we had raised for the season. Just to give you an overview, we had about 45 link customers, and about a quarter of those were repeat customers. So it really did start to pick up steam towards the end of the semester. We did about 68 transactions, and the average purchase amount was about $16.21. Most people are trying to take advantage of the maximum match amount that they could do. And so just to give you a sense, on average in this season, I think our total season average was about 750 patrons per week, and in the peak season, June through August, it was closer to 800 to 1,000. So in our second year, we really put a lot of energy into continuing to build up the SNAP matching program. So we had our remaining SNAP funds from 2015, and we had some sponsors who specifically wanted their funds to go towards the SNAP fund, so we built that up by another about $1,000 again. And then we received two very helpful grants from Experimental Station at the Link Up Illinois program. So we received the SNAP support grant, which really helped us hire a staff person who could be responsible for running transactions through the whole market, and really helped with promotion and outreach. And then we received a double value coupon grant, which was specifically an incentive program for fruits and vegetables. And we received this towards the end of the season. So what we did with the double value coupon grant is we were looking for ways to really boost attendance and sales in October, when there's still quite a bit of produce available, but attendance tends to drop off. So what we did is we used this as an additional match on top. Oh, sorry, my connection I think just went out. Are you still hearing me?
Yes, we are. Go ahead.
Okay, great. Sorry, my PowerPoint's loading itself up again. But basically, we gave out the fruit and vegetable incentive as an additional match on top of the regular match that we were doing with the sponsorship funds. So, for example, someone would swipe their card for $20 off of their link account. We would give them $20 in regular link, in our incentive link tokens, and then we would give them $20 in the double value coupons that were valid for fruits and vegetables. It's taking a moment to load the PowerPoint, so I can't change the slides. Sorry, just a moment. We'll see if this comes back.
I can take over if you want, and
okay.
I can tell you to switch, okay?
All right. So this was a very successful, this really boosted our use of the link program and sales overall in October. What we ended up seeing was, sorry, just one moment, let me pull this up for my reference as well. Just a second. That way I can kind of be in sync with you.
That's fine.
All right. So as a result of just the October promotion, we had 15 new customers who joined, who used their link card at the market, and of those 15, 4 of those became repeat customers. So we were very encouraged by those numbers. And so in our second season, we saw a pretty huge increase in the use of the program. So we had 79 customers in the second season. Of those, 25 became repeat customers, and we saw a huge increase in the just overall frequency with about 177 transactions. So on the next slide, I've got a comparison of the two seasons. Just so you can see side by side. So from season 1 to season 2, we managed to increase our number of customers by 76%. We increased the number of repeat customers by 127%. So that was, again, really the most encouraging to see that that this program really appeared to be having an effect on shopping habits, that they weren't just coming once, but it was really taking hold. And we increased the number of transactions by 160%. The average SNAP purchase amount, as you can see, went down a little bit. That doesn't really concern me too much, because one thing that I noticed, particularly during the Triple Link promotion in October, is that we had a lot of customers who came to us who only had something like $2 or $3 left on their account, but because of this added incentive, they were able to all of a sudden turn that into almost $10, which became a real amount to spend. And so we had a lot of very grateful customers, and we saw a lot of people coming to take advantage of this program even when they had very little money available on their account. So if we can go to the next slide, just about the impact of this incentive program. So we were very encouraged by the numbers. We also got a lot of very positive feedback from customers. So in both seasons, we'd have a lot, once people understood how the program worked, we'd have a lot of patrons run off, buy something, come back and show us what they bought and get excited about what they had discovered. We had people come to us with recipes the next week to share what they had done. In our second season, as you can see in the picture here, we incorporated a centralized sampling tent where people would get a chance to taste new or unusual fruits and vegetables and combinations at the market. So this also helped boost the sales of a lot of products that people were unfamiliar with. And so, you know, a lot of Link customers might hesitate to buy unfamiliar produce if they haven't tried it before. They don't want to risk, you know, losing those dollars on something they're not going to enjoy. So the sampling tent really helped people feel more at ease with what they were purchasing. On the next slide, just to talk a little bit more about the impact of this incentive program, I interviewed one of our patrons who was a local community college student, and she would regularly bring her kids to the market. And when she purchased the Link tokens, she would divide them up among the kids and let them go out and pick up what they wanted to buy and help teach them about how to purchase and how to actually carry out transactions and interact with people. So she was really excited about the opportunity to teach her children about the importance of supporting and consuming locally grown products, and the opportunity to purchase fruits and vegetables that were can often be expensive. It made this more affordable for her, and the quality is much higher than the supermarket, so she was excited about that, as well as her kids getting the chance to experience how money worked, make decisions, and actually carry out transactions. We also found that the vendors really appreciated this program. So that's on the next slide, the next impact slide. We saw much stronger October sales thanks to this promotion. In fact, we saw higher October sales than September sales, which felt like quite an accomplishment. It's also been an incentive for a lot of vendors to stick with the market. So we're in our early years, and we're doing well, but it's a struggle. We don't have quite the numbers of the larger markets, and getting people to stand by an early market can be difficult. But I've had vendors who said, you know, they're not really making nearly as much money as they would like off of our market, but because they know that we're serving so many families with the SNAP incentive program, that's the reason that they still come, because they know that they're helping feed the community. And so not only has this program been an incentive for shoppers or been an incentive for sponsors, but it's helping us keep vendors as well. And so I really see the SNAP incentive program as just really critical to the success of our market in its early years. So just to cover some of the lessons that we've learned from our experience, Corey covered a lot of this, great ideas for how to promote SNAP incentive programs, and we definitely agree. We built a lot of partnerships that were really critical to getting the word out. It feels like early on this is kind of a no-brainer. Of course, everyone's going to want to take advantage of this program. It's free money. But it really takes quite some time to be able to communicate to people how these programs work. And I think really the best promotion is word of mouth. So you need to get some customers in who are going to share their experiences with other people. Or as Corey was saying, getting in touch with the public health or Department of Human Service employees or caseworkers who directly work with people and can explain to them how this works. I think that does a lot more work than a flyer or an ad. But we partnered with public health, so they had us run a digital ad in their waiting room and also handed out flyers and explained the program to clients that they saw. We worked with local food banks, a lot of churches, schools. We've gotten information into their backpack programs and other local aid agencies. One of the areas that I found was most successful were different community events, particularly free events geared towards families. There's a lot of families out there looking for something cheap or free to do with the kids, and so I would go set up a table and talk to have something like tattoos or an art project, temporary tattoos, not real tattoos, for the kids, and then I could talk to the parents about how the program worked, and we saw a lot of direct success in that with those patrons that I talked to coming to the market soon after. So that is pretty much all that I have got. Like I said, the incentive program has just been kind of been the lifeblood of our market, and it's what I'm proudest of so far. And so it can be slow to get off the ground, but it's definitely worth it. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Sarah. If you have any questions at all, go ahead and type them in the chat box if you're unfamiliar with the link. The chat box is down in the bottom left-hand corner. You'll see a little white bubble with 2 lines in it. If you click on that, it opens the chat box. Go ahead and type your questions in there. For those that have a audio on their machines, feel free to ask questions if you'd like now. Okay. All right, so those that are starting to type some questions, that's fine. What I'd like to do is to thank our presenters, Corey and Lela and Sarah, all 3 of you, for presenting some really good information on this topic. I'd also like to thank everyone for joining us for this webinar. I hope you got some information out of it that will help you to develop and promote your market for this new season coming up. I will be sending out an email with a link to the archived webinar. I will also be sending out an email for an evaluation on it as well. We do look at your feedback and we use it to shape our future webinars, so please give us some indications on some topics that you would like us to have discussions on, or that have an interest that you have an interest in. I don't see any questions coming in at this time. So with that, I wish all of you a fabulous rest of the day and a successful growing season in 2017. Thank you all for coming.